afternoon. Did you know that approximately 130% is what the car market goes up a year in Bauchi, Nigeria, but in our business partner Auwal's area, there is only one other auto repair shop? Well, that's about to change with Kobe Auto Repair. I'm Sloan Levine.
I'm John Hawley.
I'm Lauren Madrano.
I'm Luke Borkowski.
I'm Juhi Gaware.
I'm Nick Hill.
And this is our team. So our business partner Auwal has a very unique business because he focuses directly on his customer satisfaction and reliability. This will help him generate a great customer pool and very loyal customers. Also, Auwal wants to use his business for the good of his community by creating jobs for the unemployed and therefore lowering the poverty rate. Throughout our slides, we are going to go through the challenges faced in Bauchi, Nigeria. Next, we are going to explain our business, and lastly, talk about our ideas.
This is Auwal. He's the oldest of 8 siblings, and this is a picture of him and his family. They live together in a 1-bedroom house in Nigeria. He feels a sense of responsibility to provide for his family, being the oldest of his siblings, and that's why he wants to start this business, and he wants to be able to do it doing something that he loves.
Some of the challenges that Auwal faces, or some of the challenges, is the lack of auto repair shops in the area. There's only one around, so adding another one would be very beneficial. The extreme poverty that the citizens face, it's hard to get good auto repair for a reasonable price. And the currency fluctuations between the US dollar and the Nigerian naira, it's hard to keep a stagnant price between those two currencies.
Auwal chose the name Kobe for his business. He chose this name because it's his family name, and he wanted to show that when you come to his business, he will treat you like family. This business will be located in Bauchi, Nigeria, in the central city, which makes it accessible for many people. Here, he will specialize in Japanese cars such as Honda, Hyundai, and Toyota.
This is the logo that we designed for Kobe Auto Repair. We had a lot of other designs as we were designing this one, but we had a lot of decisions that led up to this design. The first of which was the colors. We started with a lot of different colors ideas, but after talking to Auwal, we decided to go with red, yellow, and black. This was because they're eye-catching, and they pop because of their contrast. Another reason that we chose this design was because many people in the region that Auwal lives in, there are many people of different education levels. And so reading might be very difficult for them. This logo gets across the idea of the brand without using too many words. This way, anyone could understand it regardless of their education level.
Auwal's business has many values that attract customers. First is his customer service. Auwal wants to sustain his loyal customers by providing reliable services. Second is the eye-catching logo. Unlike the other competitor in this area that doesn't have a logo, we have a logo that is bright and will attract more customers. And lastly is the consistent prices. Through the fluctuating currency, the other competitor in the field always has changing prices, but Auwal's business has consistent prices that will be reliable.
So our target market is the Bauchi region of Nigeria because this is where Auwal's business is located. So we're mostly targeting people that own Japanese cars because those are the cars that Auwal specializes in and can work on the best. And cars usually belong mostly to middle-class families because they're more likely to be able to afford cars. And so that's our main and primary focus. And then we're looking for people that are, of course, seeking reliable service.
The market size for this business is very large because the population of Bauchi is around 670,000 people, and it's a very densely populated city. And due to the fact that The business will be located in pretty much the dead center of the city. It can attract a lot of traffic of people. If somebody's driving down the road and their car breaks down, they can just pull over to Kobe Auto Repairs.
Some of the competitive advantages with Kobe Auto Repair is Auwal's extensive training. He has 7+ years as an apprentice fixing cars. His speed at which he does it, he claims that he can do any type of repair in under 2 hours. And the location, previously mentioned, it's right in the middle of the city where there's a lot of traffic and high demand for auto repair.
Auwal's business model is through a revenue system. He offers 3 different services, which include engines, tires, and wheel repairs. And these services cost Naira, which will help grow his business. And lastly, he's working with the leadership initiatives to promote and grow his business.
These are the different advertisements that we've created for Auwal at his company. The first is a business card, which we're making 300 of. And these are going to be really helpful for him for giving information to anyone that needs it. And will make it very easy for them to know everything they need to know. And that's the primary purpose of those. The next is the 200 flyers, which are the most expensive of the 3, because we're making 200 of them. And these are going to be what he's going to put in the most populous parts of this area to try to get his point across, get the word out as efficiently as possible. And last, we made this one sign, and it's designed to be as eye-catching as possible, really bright, and it's going to go in front of his building, and it's going to help draw customers in and just tell them all the benefits of the company.
In conclusion, helping Auwal, our business partner, is not only helping one businessman, but it is helping the entire community of Bauchi, Nigeria, and they all thank you for listening to us today. Now we open the floor to any questions. Thank you so much.
Guys, this is an amazing presentation. Can you please take me to was the second slide that you have all these your logos? Yeah, this one. To me personally, if I'm going to vote for a logo, this is really a good logo, but that logo look really nice, you know, because it speaks louder about the business, you know. So I don't know why he chooses this logo or you guys decide to put this logo for him, but this is just my personal opinion. All right. Yeah, that logo over there. Yeah. It actually speaks louder. Yeah. Yeah. So these are the previous logos that they make, and this is the options. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so that's my personal opinion anyway, but I still want you guys to keep this logo because there may be maybe some decision to make again about it. But apart from that, I love the energy. You guys have really present yourself well, and you actually talk more about the business. I really love it, and trying to understand even the territory, you know, the advantage the business do have. It's really amazing that you guys really connect with Auwal during this week to really get to know more about the business and to provide the necessary tools for advertising, which I know Ahmed can be a witness. Like, you would never see an auto repair business having a business card or a flyer, handing it to people or something like that. And even sometimes sign, it's really like a struggle, but giving him this opportunity, it's really going to make a difference for our business. And thank you so much for making this amazing presentation. I really love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. What type of cars does he like to work on?
It's Japanese cars, so Hondas, Hyundais, and Toyotas.
Yeah. So that's why that first logo is not going to work, because that's a Mercedes Benz. So I personally like this logo actually that he ended up picking, because it's simple. It's got a what do you call it? And it's got a car. You can't really tell what kind of car. It could be any car. But that also takes me back to a few slides in. If you move towards the end, I think because he likes to work on Japanese cars. And for anyone, stop right there. Yeah, if anyone knows much about Nigerian auto or car industry, it could be any Japanese car. So limiting yourself to those three logos, I would even remove those logos, because those are very specific, right? Toyota, Honda, and Hyundai. Sure, he might be a specialist in those three, but you don't want to also you want to make sure the business, people don't see that and think, oh, he only works on these three cars. So I think that might also help. The last comment, I want to, if I were you working with him, I will also be careful about any claim about being able to repair any car in under 2 hours. Yeah. That's a pretty bold claim, right? I mean, it's there's a lot. I mean, just taking an engine apart and putting it back, I'm not sure if that can happen in 2 hours, right? So I think it's important, because he wants to build a reputation here, and if he can't fix anything in under 2 hours, that's the kind of reputation that will follow him, and that could be more damaging than helpful to his business. So working with him, have him have a more realistic expectation, or give his customers more realistic expectation, even in communication that way. Neither party is disappointed in the outcome at the end of the day. But I love the logo. I love the cards. I like these logos. I like the color combination. Everything looks good. And you guys seem like you've been working closely with him to come up with a solution as well. So thank you. Great job.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. Very good job in advocacy on behalf of your social entrepreneur client. I was a little confused in the initial comments about the car market going up 130%, because I wasn't clear whether that was, at least initially, referring to sales of cars or car service. And then I also wasn't sure whether it was referring to the volume of transactions or to pricing. I was inferring eventually that it had to do with pricing, I think. And then there was a subsequent comment that Auwal will offer consistent prices. And I was a little confused about how he was going to go against the tide if there is such, say, exchange rate or inflate. There could be an exchange rate risk, especially sourcing the parts. There could be inflation risk. There are all kinds of aspects that would play into that. Be careful of problematic phrases like very unique. Uniqueness does not admit of gradation. There's no more unique or less unique. Something's either unique or it's not. And so I know it's a common thing that people say very unique, but just little things like that can be distracting because they just don't really make any sense. And then 2 thumbs up for the use of the word challenge. Wonderful. You really stood out for that. And I think that was a great way of describing this excellent business. I like the logo very much. The colors immediately reminded me of my mother country-in-law of Belgium. But and I like the other logos too. I had the very same reaction as Ahmed. I said, that's a Mercedes. But I think it's fine. Hyundai, for the record, is a South Korean company, not a Japanese company. Mitsubishi and Subaru, I think, would be other Japanese, but I don't know that it needs to be nation specific. I actually do like the idea of using the logos as long as there is not going to be a legal prohibition on doing that. Maybe there is some sort of disclaimer that they're owned by the respective companies. Because if I'm actually looking for service, it helps me to see that, oh, we work on these kinds of cars. Even better if we're an authorized repair place, but the logos, that actually helps me in terms of trying to find a service provider. I also was concerned about the claim about fewer than 2 hours on all repairs. It might be true, but then I would start to worry about the repair, because when I think about, I recently had a timing belt replaced on a car, and I was quite happy to leave it at my Honda dealership all day, because that involves just disassembling a good part of the engine. And so that might bear some reexamination, or possibly limiting the scope of the types of repairs. The business model slide was a little bit hard to read because of the dark red background. In terms of his title, head auto repairer does not flow off the tongue. Owner, I don't know, something that kind of conveys his role in the organization. And then in terms of the address, maybe it was just a placeholder with a little logo for, well, I guess it's a placeholder, but I would caution against relying on other landmarks, businesses, whatever, as a way to describe where something is, if at all possible. If there is a formal street address, I would really stick with that, or wherever a GPS would point or something, because the bank could move, could close, all kinds of things can happen. But I thought you did a fine job in advocacy on behalf of your client. I wish him all the best, and congratulations on your advocacy on his behalf.